Roughly 20% of American families are stuck in a state of serious and prolonged conflict with one another. What's going on, guys? My name is Colton Johnson, and today I'll be talking about ego conflict with my mom. So let's get right into it. A majority of relationships between parents and children exist with some degree of conflict within them. Understanding what is at the core of these conflicts is key to resolving these disputes and perfecting your relationships. So today, the article at hand is The Effects of Ego-Involved Attitudes on Conflict Negotiation and Dyads, a piece written by Sereno and Mortensen back in 1969, actually the year that my mother was born. So this experiment investigated the relationship between a person's involvement of their ego in their position and their susceptibility to change. Their test subjects' position and involvement on various controversial subjects were tested. Then they were randomly put into groups with members holding opposing positions and opposite levels of involvement on these issues. These groups were given 10 minutes to debate the most acceptable stand for the topic at hand. This relates to the topic of managing interpersonal conflict, specifically ego conflict, a conflict arising from one being too stubborn in their beliefs and refusing to step down from their position. Now let's get right into it. Groups that are less involved in their topic will display more prominent changes between the responses before and after the tests. The less involvement that a pair has in the topic, the higher the rate that they will reach compromise. Based on the subject's position and investment on the issue, can this idea be used to anticipate the outcome of the conflict? Now, you guys ready? Because I am. Let's get into it. I'll be discussing the presence of ego conflict within the real-life relationship with my mother. Ego conflict, as previously stated, can be represented by stubbornness in our positions, leading to disagreements and negative emotions. A specific example of this occurred with my mother going to church as a child. I had no problem with religion, and I believed in God, but as a kid, I just felt I had better things to do. I would do everything I could to avoid going to church and to just try and get my money's worth out of the weekend. This was valuable time away from school to me, and there were just a million other things I'd rather be doing than drawing on the bulletin board in the back of the church. But my mom grew up religious and went to Christian school, so this didn't really fly with her. So let's get cracking. Here's a real life situation that happened in real life, and let's get right into it, guys. So I wake up in my bed. Sunday morning, so cozy. I'm just having a good morning, guys. I had to crank up, turn on the Xbox, crank on some tunes, hit up the boys, and then bam, like an angel coming down, like Zulu coming to bestow my ancestors with 1,000 years of pain. My mom walks into the room, and she says, "We gotta go to church." This was like an every Sunday event, so it kind of all blends together when looking back at it. But one thing for sure is I didn't want to go. But no matter what I tried, no matter what type of out-of-pocket excuse, whatever I said, I'd have to go, aside from the times I just went full hide-and-seek mode. But these mornings would usually end with me either pouting, stomping, or being dragged into the car. Now, things I could have done. I could have replaced this egotistical behavior with more behavior that was oriented around others. I wish I could have been more considerate about how my mom felt about me going into church, and this unnecessary conflict could have been avoided. And in conclusion, I feel that by understanding the thought process and reasoning made behind decisions in parent-child relationships, conflict can be dissected and an understanding can be made. Ego conflict, a common issue, is when these disputes are caused by the refusal for people to shift their ideas, which can be resolved by orienting your thoughts process around their perspective. Every relationship you have has two sides in it, and you just gotta be sure to just take into account what they're thinking and make sure everything you do is the best for both of you. Colton Johnson, guys, thank you so much.